Assalamu alaikum, people. This is Geek Dhaba, and today we are here to review the fresh Netflix special, Kotaro Lives Alone. And to those who thought that probably, yeah, that who thought that maybe it's just a very comical series about a kid who's just living alone and solving people's stuff. Trust me on this, this is gonna take you on a ride, and I dare say on a very field trip kind of ride, if I
Oh
may.
yeah.
So, Yumna, what did you think about Kotaro Lives Alone?
Yes, I remember it was like what, like a week ago, you were like, hey, like there's this anime on Netflix, I'm gonna give it a try. And I'm like, oh yeah, I saw a snippet of it on Crunchyroll. I think they shared like a little snippet or something. And I'm like, yeah, it's just gonna be your typical, like, smart little boy with like high IQ, little Dexter, anime version Dexter who like, like gets everything done in a really efficient manner. He's probably like what, 10 years old, but he's really short for his height, and like, he fixes everything, slice of life, in harmony, perfect harmony. And I expected to laugh a lot, and I was in a mood for a slice of life type anime anyway. But then I started watching it, and needless to say, I was bawling my eyes out. Um,
Yeah,
they covered some pretty dark themes in a very subtle manner, like the one where he does a little museum, and like, he's like, oh, these are the gloves for my mom, and I'm like, your mom was disgusted to touch you, and
yeah, and
honestly, like,
it's a really weird sort of representation of like child abuse, but on such a different level. Like where usually where these tropes that are addressed in pop culture or mainstream media is that one parent is supportive, one parent is basically not supportive. But in this case, basically, it's kind of like in a way, both of these parents were just like, okay, we don't want probably anything to do with the kid or something. Although the mom may have been a little bit more loving as compared to the dad, because the kid did hold a lot towards the mom. But in Kotaro's case, what really hit me a lot was that he said that he wanted to be strong so that his dad could be better. And this is like a classical child abuse case where the child think that they are the problem. That maybe if they were better, their parents might not have been that way. And you can see like the adults in the anime, they are trying their hardest to sort of break this reality for this kid, but at the same time knowing that breaking this reality would break the kid himself and probably would make for really something really bad. And you get that something bad because at the very last episode, the graveyard that they're going for, the manga artist, he sees Kotaro's mom's name and he doesn't move from
tell her.
there. And he lies, by the way. Kotaro says that I believe you because you will never lie to me. And that hits you like anything. Like, wow.
Honestly, like I feel like his mom probably had some really severe form of postpartum depression. And I feel like the dad was like a very toxic parent. So when you have one toxic guy in the house, it does stress the other parent out. And then they do lash out on your kid as well. Like if the dad was abusing her on the basis of their kid, she might have also vented out her own frustrations towards that kid. Um, but I also get like, I don't know. And the thing is, I tried to look into the manga, but apparently they haven't translated enough of the manga. It's not
Mhm.
out there for us to read. But I feel like there's more to his dad. I feel like, that maybe his dad is trying to fix things, or he's trying to change, or he's trying to evolve. Because honestly, like if his dad wanted to find him, he would have been able to find him by now.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
again, they do mention that Kotaro has a restraining order against his dad, which sort of led me to believe something that probably, what if his dad was actually the good guy, but the mom sort of intervened and got this restraining order and everything. Now the kid, all Kotaro thinks that his mom was the good person all along, and in this entire scenario, his dad is just a guy who is completely sidelined because we don't even get to see him. We do get to see like a detective who finds out Kotaro, but sort of
yeah.
doesn't disclose his location. But at the same time, you're just sort of like, okay, this is a twist that can come later. That his dad was the good one all along, and
All
his
along.
mom was the one who was the problem. And now that his mom wasn't there, technically the restraining order doesn't stand because the person who got the restraining order would have to be somebody who's legal, who's legally an adult, and all of that stuff. So probably that. But definitely, this anime does give you a lot of perspective as well. Like, sometimes you just tend to think about things that you just have for granted, like good parents, supportive friends, and all of that. Like, and with Kotaro, you just get to see like, okay, this kid is yearning for that particular company and for that normal life that this kid has sort of deemed that, yeah, it's a weakness. So you see this really young kid just acting like an adult, but not his
He
age
had
or
to
nothing.
grow up. His circumstances made him grow up exponentially. And
True.
like I remember this one scene where like when everyone was bringing bentos at lunch, right? And they had this one day where people made bentos together. So I remember like at the market, you remember the stunt he was doing, right? He asked a random student to put something in, the postman to put something in, someone to put something in, and it was an ugly bento, but he said this was the best one that he's had so far. And I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's not much left to talk about this show, except that, yeah, if you want to watch it, go for it. But it's guaranteed to sort of make you cry for sure,
yeah,
um, or at least like just kick to your heart or something. So I would rate it like a good 8 out of 10. Like it's a decent anime. It's not something too plot twisty, really straightforward, nothing too complex about the story. It's a good watch. So for me, it's an average of like 8 out of 10.
I think I would give it like an 8.5. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely refreshing, definitely unique. As per what's coming rolling out these days. Um, I liked it. It did make me sad. I probably will not rewatch it again because it's too much heartbreak for me to process.
true.
Um, but I think everyone should give this anime a shot. And
You
if you see
know,
any little kid struggling, please give him or her a hug.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, be kind to them in
be
that
kind,
way.
be kind to anyone. You don't know what they're going through, and this kid really inspired me. I mean, he's a little fictional 4-year-old, and he's got his life together way more than I could possibly have it together. You know,
All of us together. All of us together.
yeah,
Honestly.
little man is like 4 and he already has like everything down to a T,
Yeah.
like, and here we are, like, I can't even hydrate for the life of me. So,
Yeah, and the
um,
way he just addresses people like Miss Yumna, I am very, very proud of you, or something of the sort.
like the
So
whole military old fashioned talk, like,
yeah,
like I love it. And we're gonna look into whether like this gets a season 2 or where this story actually end up going because this ending was not, it was 10
yeah.
episodes,
There's
but
more to it. There's more to it.
there
It
should
it
be more
leaves
to
more.
it.
Yeah, it leaves more to be desired. But yeah, that's our review for Kotaro Lives Alone. And if you guys enjoyed it, like us, comment, and subscribe to our posts and everything. I will see you in the next review. Take care.
Yep.